So today I wanted to go on a deep dive about a type of round that happens in Valorant, fairly rarely, but when it does happen, I see people play it in what, in my opinion, is the wrong way. Now, the way that this round is going to play out is very intuitive, and I'm sure you all will do this in your ranked games as well, anytime this situation occurs. But I think that it is the wrong way of playing it because I've seen enough pro games at this point where it just doesn't work out. And you're going to see what I mean because we're going to watch round 6 here of Dark Ratio versus the Nation here on Fracture. And honestly, this isn't the best example of it, and I'll explain why as we go forward, but it is an example of it because what's going to happen here is Dark Ratio on the defensive side, they're going to get aggressive. Okay, they're going to come up here and they're going to do, and this is, fairly common on Fracture, a bit of a north side pinch. And what they're going to find is some success, okay? Because what's going to happen, they send a KO knife in, right? They're going to send this flash in here, right? And so these three players, kind of get maybe a bit stuck. In goes that a really nice nade from Wardell. And Wardell here, by the way, is going to do the thing that I think you should try and do in this situation, which is take the rope. The rope is your escape, right? Anything else, that is not your escape. The rope is your escape. So Wardell leaves. It kind of looked like he just, leaves his teammates to die there a bit. But you can see that the Raze and the Breach are also coming, right? We've got the KO and the Brim in there as well. It becomes very difficult for these two players who've stayed now, to kind of fight this off as Wardell is left. So we get the first kill just there. And our Cypher is just going to die here as well. We end up in this situation. We end up in a 4v3. But the crucial thing I want to talk about this round is that the spike is down here. Right, and so the spike is down in a terrible place for the attackers. And so the instinctive thing to do for pretty much everyone, be it a pro, be it an iron player, the instinctive thing to do is let's defend the spike. Okay? Let's defend the spike. Let's stay here and try and control this area. That seems like it would be the obvious thing to do, right? Without the spike, they can't win the round. So we'll just defend the spike. Let me tell you why, in my opinion, and you're going to see it in this round as well, this often goes wrong, okay? So let's take a look at the situation. The spike's down up on the north side of the map. We've got 3 players here already. Our Killjoy is quite far away from us and doesn't have an easy, safe way of getting there, right? So our Killjoy is kind of stuck, right? That's perhaps issue number 1. That you might end up with a player who is kind of isolated and alone, and maybe they die, and you turn a 4v3 into a 3v3. That's just issue number 1, but we're going to get into more serious issues as we go on, because we're in a 4v3, right? And so in 4v3s, we want to be playing more safe, maybe not super safe, but more safe than usual, because we're favored to win the round now, right? Our win probability in this round in a 4v3 spikes down there, right? Should be pretty high. Right, it should be pretty high, and generally the higher your win probability is at any given situation, the safer you want to play. The problem is that if we try and defend the spike here, right, we don't have a, bankroll of knowledge, of experience in this situation before that we can go back and recall, and think about, oh, well, before when I did this, I made this mistake, so I won't do that again, right? We've never been in this situation before. It rarely happens. And so we don't know what to do because we don't know where to play. We don't know where they're going to come from. We don't know what angles to watch. We don't know where we should use our utility, right? Because all of this is brand new. This is a new experience, and so we don't know what to do. And that is the problem, that we're adding chaos into this round, because normally when these situations play out, normally it is going to be an advantage situation for the defenders, right? It's going to be a 5v3, a 4v2, a 4v3, something like this, right? Where we should be favorites in the round, but because we are going to play it in this way, we are going to add chaos into this round by trying to defend the spike, but we don't know what the best way of defending the spike is because we've never been in that situation, right? So we don't know what angles to hold. We don't know where to play. We don't know the good crossfires, all that stuff, because we've never been here. And so you're going to see, and this situation, as I said, isn't like the best example of it because it seems there isn't like an easy way for Dark Ratio to escape, but that would be my kind of plan for you, by the way. That I think in this situation, when you drop the spike here, you should just return to playing a normal round. You should just return to the sites. You should just play a normal round of Valorant if you can, right? If you think it's safe for you to get back to the sites, you should. Right, this Brim here is making it a bit tricky, so as I said, this isn't maybe the best example, but the reason I think you should do that is your opponents are going to have to clear every angle to come and get this spike anyway. It's going to take them some time, right? They're not going to go sprinting in and be like, haha, got you. You know, they're going to have to slowly clear everything. They're probably going to use quite a bit of utility to try and get the spike back, right? And so they're going to be left with probably little time left. You know, the spike is far away from the site. They're going to have to just sprint with no utility to the site, and you'll just destroy them. Because what's going to happen here, and you'll see it as we run this round forward, is our Brim here, you know, is going to walk up this way. Our Fade and Race, they're going to get spotted by the Killjoy stuff, right? There's a turret there. There's an alarm bot here. But just watch. Just watch. As soon as these guys start getting close, these guys are in panic mode. Absolute panic mode. They do not know what to do at all, right? Our KO comes up here, right? He's going to throw a KO knife in towards here. And even spot that the Raise and the Fade are there, right? This KO knife spots where they are. Right, he knows that two people are coming this way, so you can probably theorize, yeah, the Brim's coming this way. Our Killjoy is, you know, going to come all the way back around. We use a Brim ult here, right? There's still 47 seconds left in the round. So this Brim ult, this feels like, again, a bit of a panic move, right? We just used an ult. Was it a good ult? Not really. Did it, you know, bring the time down, you know, sufficiently? Not really, right? Panic ult. Don't know, you know, what to do in this situation. I'm just panicking. I'm just trying to do my best, right? Because I haven't been here before, right? I don't know which angle to look at because I've not been here before. This is weird, right? The smokes come in and now panic really starts to set in, right? You know, the nation go for these two smokes just here, and now it's like, what on earth do we do now, right? Oh, I can't see this way all of a sudden, right? Oh, well, why isn't someone already over there? I don't know. We're just all over here, right? And so now panic really starts to set in. And so you're going to see they don't know which way to look, right? I mean, we were just on this Brim. He's looking one way, he's looking the other way. You know, they try and figure it out. But then eventually Tig's going to swing this corner, right? Our Brim here, you know, isn't holding with us, right? This is just a 1v1 fight. And, you know, we're going to lose this fight. Will's going to lose this fight. And then, you know, they're Raze ulting as well. They got this Fade. Because that's the thing. They know where you're going to be. They could probably guess where you're going to be. You don't know what they're doing. Right, you don't know where they're coming from because this part of the map wasn't meant to be held. And the only reason we will watch the rest of the round, so we get to a 3v1, right? This ends in a 3v1. The only reason the Dark Ratio have a chance in this round is because we've got a Rambo Killjoy, you can just see under my face there, coming across the rope at the exact right moment. Okay, and had this Killjoy been even a hair later, this round is lost. We just went from a 4v3 spike down, very winnable situation to, you know, 3v1 panic. Oh my god, how did we lose that, right? Our Killjoy is going to save the round here as he manages to get one off the rope and then does that as well. But even our Killjoy is going to start panicking as well, right? Because we send out that turret just there, right? We're going to put an alarm bot down here as well, kind of forgetting what map we're playing on. We're even going to ult, right? Forgetting that the spike was picked up here and you can go either way in the time, right? Yeah, I guess it does secure that they're not coming this way, but, you know, the alarm bot would have maybe told you that either way. And obviously for Tig, it makes just more sense to go to B where you saw the Killjoy not run that way, right? So I mean, it's a great shot as well. So Zextro ends up winning the round. All is saved for Dark Ratio. I cannot tell you, any time in a pro game I see that happen, it always goes wrong. So in conclusion, overall, when the spike gets dropped in a weird position, if possible, if you think it's safe, I think you should just leave and play almost as if you didn't know that the spike was there, right? You should just leave it alone and go back and play a normal defensive round if possible, right? If you don't think there's a safe escape to get back to the site, or you think that that's compromised in some way, then sure, you know, you can't take that risk. But if you do kind of know that, hey, this is safe, I've just come from here, got this kill, and I know that going back there is safe, then that is what I would advise rather than trying to defend the spike in a very weird position, because it's going to be easier for you. You're going to have that knowledge of how to actually play the round and play those angles, right? You'll be very used to it instead of not knowing what to do. Your opponents are going to have to take the time to clear all those angles. They're probably going to use their utility. The time is going to dwindle down on them anyway, you know, to go and retrieve that spike. So that's another part going for you as well, that, you know, that they're going to have to do that anyway. And then they're going to run into you, right? And you'll just be able to kill them with no utility, with no, you know, time left, right? They're just going to be panicking and coming into you. And it's just a safer way of playing in these positions where normally in this kind of scenario, the defenders will be plus numbers. And when you're playing plus numbers, you want to be playing safer. You want to be, trying to, just consolidate what you've already got. You want the round to play out normally, because if the round plays out normally, you will win. Whereas if you enter chaos, that is when things can get weird, and that is when your opponents can win. And by trying to defend the spike in a situation that you've never been in before, that is chaotic. And so you always give your opponents a chance to win the round. As we saw in this one, went from a 4v3 to a 3v1, and our Killjoy played hero.